about being on the weight loss journey. It is not for the faint-hearted, for the weak-hearted. You really do have to have some kind of foundation, something that is grounding you, something that is driving you, like calling you toward it, almost like your future self or just your future in general. And what I'll say is this for myself, and maybe this might help some of you. So I am going to be going into the last year of my 30s in 2 weeks. My birthday is February 2nd. And I like to base life off of the 120-year span, because technically, scientifically proven, based on our telomeres, which actually indicates how long a human life could actually live till, and it's 120. So of course, because of our modern lifestyle, the way that we eat, having a sedentary lifestyle, so many factors, you don't hear a ton of people living till 120. Now, we are hearing more and more common, more than ever, people living till over 100. So I feel like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, that was like, what? But now it's seeming like there is a lot. It's like not abnormal to come across someone either that has a grandparent or a great grandparent that's 100 and over, or just if you go on YouTube, you type in centenarians and thousands of them come up. So it's really, really powerful. Hello from Ontario. Welcome, welcome. So I want to talk about the ugly truth really quickly. And we're still doing the 2025 reset. So if anyone wants to tap in with that, get in the link down below. It's free. It's a free download. It's pretty much cutting out sugar. It's cutting out gluten. It's cutting out bread. It's cutting out caffeine. I have been feeling it all month. I cannot even lie to you guys. I thought I was doing okay with caffeine, but now that I'm doing no caffeine this month, I definitely can tell that I was slipping into kind of like a caffeine, relying on caffeine more than I thought. And because I do drink RYZE mushroom coffee or other mushroom coffees, they have like a third of the caffeine in it. But still, if you end up drinking it every single day, you can still get kind of like hooked onto even just the third amount of the caffeine. So I think it's just important. There's so many different opinions out there of caffeine, and is it good for you? Is it not good for you? I just think everything in moderation. Of course, that word moderation is different for everybody. But I think that if you find that you're becoming too reliant on something, just take a 30-day break and then incorporate it back in where it makes sense. So for me, even when I start drinking caffeine again, I think I might just do it as a treat, like once or twice a week. And I was gonna start drinking caffeine again going into February, but I think I'm just gonna continue on because I can tell, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for February. I can have caffeine again, which tells me that I'm still hooked on caffeine. So I'm not gonna have it. I'm not addicted to caffeine, but I am addicted to carbs. Okay, yeah. And I think it's good to just know that and admit it. But the biggest thing in this video that I want to talk about is just the ugly truth around losing weight, around the health journey, around just being like fit. You know, depending on your environment, you could be the only one that wants to be on that health journey. You could be the only one in your family that wants to make healthier choices, right? You could be the only one in your friendship group that wants to eat healthy. And it can be difficult because it's like, oh man, you know, you always want to, you know, we always got to choose a restaurant and make sure that there's food for you there. Oh man, well, you know, we just want to lounge around, but you always want to be active and go on a walk. Or, you know, we want to go on vacation, but we don't want to, you know, do sightseeing. You want, like, you know, there's always something. And even with like, even if you don't really do a lot of traveling and things like that, you could, you know, be going to work every day and then all of a sudden you're trying to be healthier and your coworkers are looking at you like, oh, you're trying to be healthy. Well, what are you trying to do? Like, are you getting ready for something? Do you have like an event coming up, or like, what's the point of that? Or don't let social media fool you. And I just think it's sad that, you know, there's kind of this culture around like, if you're trying to be healthy, you must be doing it for some kind of reason outside of like, no, like this is what we're supposed to do. Like we're supposed to be striving to be healthy. Like that should be the standard. So Michael says, what's your thoughts on fasting, like not eating until, oh yeah, I love that. I love, love, love that. So I'm a big, huge proponent of intermittent fasting. I talk about it in my ebook guide. If anyone's interested, how I lost 30 pounds and never gained it back, it's down in the description. I talk about intermittent fasting in my book. That's a big part of why I didn't gain all that weight back. Because here's the thing. I was thinking about this yesterday, and especially in America, unfortunately, like, we will eat till we're stuffed. Like, we will eat till we're like this, like, ooh, that was good, right? And because culturally, that's what you're supposed to almost feel like you're completely stuffed. It's normal. Like, no one thinks there's anything wrong with it. And then when you go, you go home by yourself and you're like, I really like don't feel good, or, oh, I kind of like really ate too much, right? And then what happens is, so say if you have like a really big breakfast and you're stuffed, as soon as like an hour and a half goes by or 2 hours goes by where you're not stuffed anymore, like you could technically eat, but like you don't have that like overly lethargic, heavy feeling, then we're like, okay, well, I can have a snack. But no, like that's where we should let our body rest. So if you had a really, really heavy dinner, like a 1,000 calorie, 1,500 calorie dinner at 8 o'clock at night, to be honest, in my opinion, I'm no medical professional, always check with the medical professional, but in my opinion, you should wait until noon the next day, because your body already is not getting the best quality of sleep because you ate so much so late at night. And then when you wake up, it still needs to kind of like process what you had from the night before, because you know, a lot of us, for some reason, a lot of Americans will eat at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night and have a huge dinner. And then we'll go to sleep maybe around 11, 11:30, midnight, sometimes 1 a.m. And then depending on your schedule, might get up at, only have 5.5 hours of sleep, maybe 6.5 if you're lucky. And then because you actually haven't had enough sleep, that's actually what's making you want to eat more. It's not because you're actually like hungry. It's because you haven't had enough sleep. So your brain is like, I need energy. I didn't get the right amount of sleep. So if you actually listen to Dr. Andrew Huberman, he's huge. I'd be shocked if you didn't know who he was, but he used to be a Harvard professor, and he talks a lot about sleep and how important it is. But there's a lot of different things that cue us to eat that we don't even, like, we think it's because we're actually hungry, but our body doesn't need anything. Like, it's fine, right? Like, it's kind of like a lion. Like, a lion can eat and then they won't eat for like a few weeks, right? I'm not saying that we can do that, even though there is people that do go that long without eating for fasting spiritual reasons. But like, our bodies can take it. So yeah, like, and it's a tough truth. Like, a lot of times, we'll eat, and then it's like everybody's ready to eat again, and you're like, that you're not really, like, you're fine, but you don't want to be like that person that's like, no, I'm not going to eat, and then you're just sitting there while everyone's eating. So socially, it can get really awkward where you get forced into kind of feeling like you have to be apart, right? Michael says, yes, I find myself overeating at times. I just eat to eat, like I'm bored. Yep, out of habit and a pattern. Exactly. And it is difficult because, like, some people, depending on who you're talking to, some people might say, no, you're fine, you should eat, right? But like, in your heart of hearts, you're like, you know what, I'm actually fine. I just am eating because I'm just craving sugar, or I'm just craving bagels, or I'm just craving fried French fries. I'm just craving something, and your body like wants the taste, but it's not like lacking any calories for fuel. You already have enough, right? So that's why a lot of the ways I was able to lose weight as well is because I was tapping into my fat storage. I had gained 30 pounds, and technically I had gained 30 pounds of energy, right? And so when I was on the journey of losing that weight, I was cutting my calories down about 200 to 300 calories a day. And essentially I wasn't really cutting that, like, it wasn't like I didn't have the calories. I had it stored on my fat on my body already. That's how I think about it. Roderick's 30 pounds of energy. Yeah. So that's how we have to kind of start thinking about it if you actually want to lose the weight. So sometimes we'll think, oh, we have 30 pounds of fat, but fat is a reserve tank. Like fat is one big reserve. It's like one big sheath. So we think we only have fat here. We only have fat here. We only have fat. It's actually one, I actually hired a master trainer and like learned about all this stuff. Which I show actually on my channel. If you go to master trainer workouts, you'll see him in the background. So we're in one big sheath, and that will expand or contract depending on how much we're eating. So when we eat, right, and we're eating too much and we're not burning it off. Think of like little kids, right? Like they can eat a ton of candy and then they just burn it right off. But we're not doing backflips and jumping on couches and just kind of like bouncing around with all this energy. So you have to kind of think about like, okay, if you really want to lose the weight and you're like, I kind of need to like cut back on a couple hundred calories today, you actually already like that 200 calories that you're cutting back on, it's so you can tap into your fat reserve to burn that off as energy. Now, what happens is a lot of us, we just don't ever tap into our fat reserve. So then we just keep eating, we're sedentary, we keep eating. All we do is walk to work, sit, walk to get something to eat at break, sit, during lunch. And then we get off work, walk from the building to the car, sit in the car, walk from the car to the house, sit in the house, the sitting, eating, sitting. And so we're thinking, oh, we're just aging, or, oh, we're just getting older. And that's not true. Like I'm headed for 40. And it's specifically because I make sure to have an active lifestyle. Okay. And if you don't move your body and you eat a lot, you're going to store fat. And so sometimes we just assume that it's because like, oh, well, society says as we age, we gain more weight, but you don't have to, right? It's just our life becomes more sedentary. And so it's just kind of hard if you don't have a community, if you don't have people that you can kind of like bounce this off of, it's difficult, right? It's really, really difficult to actually do it because you can kind of feel like you're on an island by yourself. Let's see what you guys are saying. One thing I have changed. Thank you guys for the compliments. I truly appreciate it. Let's see. Iwa says, I learned to eat between 10 and 18. I notice I eat less and still be fine. Okay. Let's see. One thing I have changed in my thought process. Sorry, it's getting bright. One thing I've changed in my thought process, whether it's helpful or not, is that I wanted to lose weight to remove weight. Because we lose something, we tend to find it again. Yeah, I like that. My accountability is I'm lazy, and also when I've had dramatic things happen and I don't like, I have removed the weight, no problem. This drive kicked in where when that doesn't happen. And that's good. You want to ride that out as much as you can, because that is once it's hard to rev up. I'm not gonna say hard. It's difficult. Like it's challenging to rev up that drive for wanting to get fit and wanting to be healthy. But once it kicks in a gear, it's like you're craving it. So that's like kind of like where I am. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I love being active. I love eating fruits and vegetables. I love feeling lightweight in my body. I love feeling like, I love like not having that full feeling in my stomach. Like there's times where I've eaten, overindulged on food. And anytime I do that during this stage of my life, I feel it. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't know what I was thinking. Yes, the food was bomb, but I'm going to have to go on like a 2-week fast because that was just too much. A lot of us are like out of touch, out of tune with our body. I think you need the compliments. A lot of us are out of touch with our body. And so we don't even realize that we're actually really, really full. We just think like, I don't know. It's like in America, it's like if you don't eat till that feeling, then like you didn't eat enough, So we have to unwire that thinking. Like we have to rewire our brain and say, okay, eating till 70 or 80% full in our stomach is full. Eating till 70 to 80% is actually correct. And it's going to feel like you can have 7 more bites, 6 more bites, 7 more bites, right? But that's where you should stop. So that's been a really, really big game changer for me, is just kind of getting back used to not, like, trying to not eat myself to that full feeling. And it's tempting, you know, because sometimes the food is so good, even healthy food. Like, even if I'm eating like a really big raw salad with like really, really tasty salad dressing, like just bomb salad dressing, sometimes I can overeat because the salad dressing is so good, right? And so I'm like, you know, I can't do that again. Like, I feel too full. So it takes time, but you know, it's just part of the ugly truth of like losing weight. It's like, you know, there's all these things that we're culturally supposed to do. You're supposed, you know, it's okay to do. Overindulging on the alcohol, overindulging on the sugar, overindulging on the sodas, overindulging on staying up super late, overindulging on hustle culture, right? Like, there's so many things that's against the human health that's like marketed as like okay. And you kind of know when you look at yourself in the mirror, or you just feel into your body and you're like, I just don't feel right. I got to make some changes. But then everybody around you is still on the same unhealthy energy. So it can feel like you're on a mountain by yourself. Thank you guys for the compliments. Italian dressing or nothing. Let's see. Do you have cheat days? So I call them pleasure days. Eating for pleasure days. I never want to, I kind of unwired myself from the cheat day, because even when I would then eat the pleasure food, I would feel bad while I was eating it. So let's just say I was having a vegan pizza and I'm like, ooh, today's my cheat day. I would like eat it already feeling like, man, I got to work this off later. Man, you know, I probably shouldn't be doing this. Man, my skin just cleared up. I probably shouldn't eat this. It's going to break my skin out. Man, I really shouldn't have this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, like, I don't think that everybody goes through that. Some people probably might love the cheat day feeling like, yeah, I'm cheating, and they feel fantastic. When I called it cheating, it made me feel like I was doing something bad while I was doing it, and it made me not want to, yeah, it just made me not want to like enjoy it while I was eating it. You know what I mean? So I say eating for nourishment or eating for pleasure. So most of the time, probably like 4 to 5 times out of the week, I'll eat just for nourishment. And then the other 2 times out of the week, I'll eat for pleasure, or I'll have like one meal. So say for like example, like if I had Monday through Friday, I ate for nourishment, and then Saturday came, maybe I'll have like a breakfast that's just like an enjoyable breakfast, like a pleasureful, enjoyable, a joyful breakfast, right? So maybe waffles, you know, vegan waffles, vegan pancakes, you know, maybe like croissants, like whatever I wanted, right? And then, so I'll have a pleasureful breakfast, but then let's say I have a late lunch, then maybe I'll do like a really healthy meal for, when I say healthy, nourishment, like a nourishing type of late lunch, right? To kind of counteract the fact that I had the pleasure. So I don't, to be honest, where I'm at now, you guys, and let me know if anyone else does go through this. Where I'm at now, I don't like eating for just pleasure all day. Like, I'll feel it. Like after that one meal, like if I had, like say I went to like a Sunday brunch, right? And I had like a vegan pizza, but it was like had, you know, barbecue on it and like just like cheese and like all this stuff, or vegetarian, you know, let's just say vegetarian pizza, and I ate that, I don't want to then continue to eat like that all day. Like, I wouldn't be like, my body, I'd be like, I just want to drink water the rest of the day. That's just where I'm at now, but it definitely did take time for me to get there. Like when people go on vacations and then they just have like an entire cheat or pleasureful 5 days, like I would feel great. Like I can't do that anymore. It actually makes me feel worse. Like it would be more joyful to me to be on vacation and still choose healthier options. Do you do a calorie deficit? Yeah. So that's what the energy that I'm on right now, because I'm trying to do body recomposition. So I want to maintain my muscle that I have, but I'm just trying to like lose the fat that's on top of some of my muscle. So I eat about 200 calories less than I was like last summer, so I can kind of like start to have my muscle pop through a little bit more. Can you give an example of what you eat in a day? So what I'll do is, like right now I have my shake with me. So today's kind of an interesting day because I'll just tell you what I usually would have done. So today I would have been on my way to my workout class, and which I still am going to go work out, but I just kind of I felt called to just get steps in today. Like usually I would have gone and done weight training, but usually like on a Tuesday I would go to my fitness class only having had lemon water, then chia seed water, and then maybe like celery juice with the pulp in it and some monk fruit and lemon in it. So it's all liquid is what I'm saying. So like I'll have as much liquid as I want, and I will work out with just like that on my stomach. I won't even have like a protein shake or anything before. I did when I hired my master trainer, he was like, always make sure you have some kind of protein. For me, I just feel too heavy. So I just like having like celery juice on my stomach or like chia seed water or something like that. So it's just, so sometimes it's nothing, but most of the time it's lemon water when I first wake up. Then once I drink that, like a, small little 8 ounce, like just kind of wake my body up. Then after that, I'll have chia seed water while I'm also drinking like some kind of pressed juice or something, right? And then I'll work out. Then after, this is the secret. This is the secret sauce. Most of the time, and let me know if you guys have done this, most of the time what will happen is you'll go do a really insane workout, right? Like you'll booked a class, it's a HIIT cardio class, you can barely breathe through the class, right? Then right when you get out of the class, you're like, ooh, I earned my meal, right? You're like, I earned my meal, I got it in, I burned like 700 calories in there. So now your body's like it's like a lion, like it's on the hunt for food. What happens is then we not only eat back the calories, but we eat an additional amount of calories. So say for example, we'll have like, you burn 600 calories, but then you will have a 1500 calorie meal. So then you kind of like you don't understand like, well, why can't I lose the weight? And it's not that you can't lose the weight, it's that you're just replenishing all the calories that you burn. So you're just maintaining. So what I do is I make sure to have a shake on me. So this has protein powder in it, frozen blueberries, chia seeds, flax seeds, almond milk, and almond milk and coconut water. And you can make any kind of shake that you want to your liking. And then, I did also sweeten this with two dates and a spoon of peanut butter. So this was essentially like a little mini meal. So I would say it was about 400 calories. So no, maybe closer to like 450. So after my HIIT cardio class, I then have this. So that way I immediately drink this, so I'm not on the hunt for food. So that way when I then get to my lunch, I have like a small lunch of like 500 or 600 calories. These days, because I am on the reset. If anyone wants to do it with me, we still have 10 days left. It's down in the description. It's a free download of cutting out sugar, cutting out bread, cutting out gluten, cutting out everything, just to kind of, just start the year off like reset and feeling really strong. So I just have lentils, some kind of either like red potato and some kind of vegetable. So I'll have the next kind of meal will be like like chickpeas sauteed up, maybe quinoa, Brussels sprouts. Okay, the next meal might be black beans and a soup. Like I eat very, very light. What about amino acids? Yeah, there's amino acids in my protein shakes. And I just do vegan protein. There's a very similar profile of amino acids similar to meat when you have pea protein. So my workout plan, if you actually go to, I have all my workouts in my playlist. So if you go to my playlist, if you type in HIIT cardio, you'll see all my workouts. If you type in glute building, you'll see my workouts. If you type in full body workouts, so just go to my playlist and scroll through my playlist and you'll see I have like hundreds of videos of me working out. I think I even just posted one of me working out, but what I do is, sorry guys, hold on. So what I do actually is sometimes I'll do videos where I'm talking about like a specific topic, but I'll be talking over me working out. So for example, okay, I'm going to show you two examples I just posted. This is something that I ate. And I show my whole recipe, but I ate this. It's chickpeas. It's like a whole chickpea dish. It's kind of hard to see because my fingerprints in like the sun, but so if you actually, I have a whole playlist that says what Ciana eats. Thanks Dwayne, thanks for tapping in. So I have a whole playlist that says what Ciana eats. So you're going to want to make sure to go to that. There's over like 70 videos, I believe, of what Ciana eats. Okay. And then here's me doing videos where I am working out. So this is actually my last video that I just posted. Okay. So you'll see all the different kinds of workouts that it's hard to tell guys, sorry, because I'm like in the car and it's like, so that's me working out, HIIT cardio. So I do a combination of HIIT cardio workouts. I will do cardio kickboxing. I do actual training, like weight training. And then I will do, hold on guys, getting a little hot in here. So I will do that. And then I will do what else? And then sometimes I might do like a class like on you, like there's so many free videos online of like Pilates or like a stretch class or like a dance, like something like dancing just for fun. So I'm very, very active. And then I love walking. I love driving to a different area in LA and then drive. Like I just actually went to the park. If you look at one of my last live videos, like I think it's like the last 1 or 2 videos. If you go to my live section, the live replay, you'll see me walking around the Silver Lake Reservoir. So I love walking. I think that's number one in my opinion. I think it reduces your stress. You bump into people that, you know, really, really amazing people. You run into mom and pop shops you've never seen before. You see just like like the other day I was walking and I ran into rock climbing, like by where I live. I'm like, I didn't even know they do rock climbing. How many days a week do I weight train? So I weight train 3 times a week. So I go in to and have a trainer 2 times a week, but it's just at the gym. But I call her my trainer. 2 times a week weight training, and then I'll do 1 day a week of weight training on my own. And I do 4 days a week of HIIT cardio. So I just love it. Like you don't have to do that. I just love to be active. I love to push myself. But I think if you did 2 days of solid full body weight training and then just walking, you'd be fine. It just depends on your goals and what you enjoy doing. How do you balance being committed to working out and getting your steps in full-time with a full-time job? Okay, so right now, that's a really good question. So right now, I wanted to get in some time with you guys, and then I'm gonna go work right now on the treadmill. So I don't know where you work or what you do for work, but if you can get a standing desk with a walking pad, that's it. That's the only way to do it. I don't know how else people do it. So I have 2 walking pads at home, 1 under my office desk at home, and then 1 in the living room. So I just like after every meal, you know, after a snack, boom, I'll walk on it for 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 8 minutes there, right? But then like right now, I'm like gonna go inside of a gym because I just felt like being around more like people instead of just being in the house. So I'm actually gonna go walk and work. So again, if you're like at a desk and you have to like be on a computer and things like that, just try to get at least a walking pad and a standing desk. And I think even by law, don't quote me on this, But I think even by law, they have to accommodate you if you do request that. But that's how people are doing it. There's no way to work like a sedentary kind of job and get your, unless you, this is how you could do it. Unless you were really about that life and you got up an hour earlier, an hour and a half earlier, got in your an hour walk before you went to work, walked for 30 minutes on your lunch break, and then walked for an hour after, then you should be able to hit the 10,000 steps. But outside of that, no. And thank you for the, I think the little jewel. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, best way to reduce weight. So to be honest, the best, I mean, there's so many intricate things to it, but you have to reduce the amount of calories that you're eating. You do. And if you don't reduce the amount of calories that you're eating, you have to triple, like up your activity, triple. So let's just say you're at 170 pounds. And who asked that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're a man or a woman. I can't really tell by the profile name or picture, but it doesn't matter. Let's just say if you're 170 pounds and you wanted to lose 20 pounds and you were eating 2,500 calories, okay? If you kept eating 2,500 calories a day and you had your same activity, you're not going to lose the weight. So either A, you have to reduce the amount of calories that you're taking in every day. And if you refuse to do that, you then have to up your movement of your body triple. So you could actually lose more weight by just focusing on your diet. Like you could actually essentially not really change how much you moved your body, but change the amount of food you're putting in your body and what you're putting in your body, and you could lose weight. But if you don't change anything about the way you eat, you have to you'd have to go above and beyond, and it's just not realistic. That's why people always refer to the diet being 80% of how you lose weight, because you would have to be like training for the Olympics, or like you'd have to have a really huge reason to move your body that much, like train for 4 hours a day, right? You have to train for like 4 to 6 hours a day if you wanted to eat the same and then lose weight. So you have to be realistic with yourself. So right now, if you could cut down 200 calories and then maybe cut down like for 2 weeks and then cut down 300 calories for the rest of the time, and then up your activity at minimum by walking, then you'll lose the weight. But you just have to do it for 90 days. And I think that's quick. Like people will say, well, you can't lose weight fast. I think 90 days is fast. Like time is flying. Like we're already in 2025. Like we already have a new president. Like the LA fires are going on. Like there's just 3 months ago, like I feel like I blinked and a year went by. So 90 days, just do it for 90 days. Don't even think about seeing results. Don't even think about anything else. Just start walking more, start moving your body more, and cut down your calories. And you will guaranteed see a difference in 90 days if you stick to it for 90 days straight. If you stick to it for 2 weeks, you won't. If you stick to it for a month, you won't. If you stick to it for 6 weeks, maybe you'll see a little bit of a difference, but it won't be enough to get you excited. Go for 90 days, and then you'll be like, you know what? I'm excited, right? Now, what happens is people will just get the surgery, and then guess what? Because I live in LA, so I know hundreds of women that have gotten surgeries, which there's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with surgeries. It's that they gain the weight, like, so they'll get like a lipo out of their stomach, then they'll gain the weight on the back of their arms. Because what happens is you kill the fat cells right here. But if you're still eating pizza and barbecue chicken and all that stuff all the time and not moving your body still has to store the fat somewhere. So it'll start to like store the fat in very odd places. So just don't do that. And anyways, to me, my opinion is like, if you're going to spend $10,000 on a liposuction surgery, spend the $10,000 on a bomb fitness instructor, like a fitness trainer and a nutritionist to get you your meals for 90 days. You're going to look better than ever. Like you would look 10 times better than getting surgery, because what happens is sometimes people will just get the surgery just out of their stomach and then it just doesn't look proportioned, right? So you're going to look better because the way that your body, your genetic makeup, you at your healthiest version is going to look better than a surgery version. Does that make sense? Oh, so do you have, okay, so you got lipo? Did you get lipo, Miss V babes? I just want to make sure, I don't want to put that out there if you, how I'm interpreting it is if you've gotten lipo, because you're saying it goes straight to your thighs. There was there's someone that I know, it went straight to their thighs too. You know, and it may not distribute on your thighs the way that you would want it to, because you might think like, okay, well, it's going to your thighs, that's good. But sometimes, depending on the way that it falls, it just is, and then you kind of end up in this loop where you're like, well, now do I need to go back? Do I need to undereat? It's just like, just spend the money. Oh, you got a tummy tuck? Okay. So that's the thing. It's like, now this is the lethal combination, is if you get a tummy tuck and you have the discipline with the healthy eating and the fitness. That's when the bodies look like wild, right? Like they look like out of this world, because they combine the two, which I'm not against. I'm too much of a chicken to have full transparency, guys. So I'm not going to even say who this person is, because it would expose the person. But there's a human being that I know that I went into, like, I was allowed to go into the room with them when they got their surgery, their lipo surgery. So I don't know why I was allowed to. It was kind of like one of those, like, oh yeah, like the way that they marketed it was like, oh yeah, go get lipo on your lunch break. You'll be in and out, and you could go back to work technically that very same day, which wasn't true, by the way. I don't know how they're able to market it like that. So this person is laying on the table. We're having, we're talking, the laughing gas starts to go on the face. And then, so we're talking, and it's kind of like distracting this person from like the fact that the doctor is getting like the tools out. But so they're laying down. I'm seeing all these tools and sharp things, and I'm just like starting to like get nervous. I'm starting to like sweat. Like I'm just like getting freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh. All of a sudden I just see like, just like that tool that goes, and I literally, in movies where like a cartoon will get scared and they turn white. I didn't know that a human could actually do that. I had to leave. Like I like made upset, like I couldn't take it anymore. Like I had to leave. And I think I kind of like, it was like I had to leave, and I think the person that was getting it done, like they needed to kind of concentrate because they were still talking to me and stuff. And so it was just safe for all parties involved for me to like leave. So I go in the car and I look in the mirror, and I look like a ghost. Like I look like literally the blood went out of my face. I think that's what it is. Like the blood went to my brain. I was so shooketh from that. I was shooketh from that. So I don't know why God let me see that, but I will never, unless it's like literally because of a medical concern or something, glory be to God that I don't have to go through something like that. But like I'm a chicken. Like I couldn't do it. So the best lethal combination is when people, do the healthy eating, they're super fit, and then they also do like the lipo here and there. I mean, those bodies look like they're insane. They're amazing. Yes, I fell out 3 months ago, but I'm back. Okay, get it in, girl. I ate no sugar, no carbs, no processed dairy. Did 10,000 steps after a long time of barely lost any. Oh wait, after a long time that I barely lost anything and had nothing. Had one literal bowl of cereal and gained all my weight back immediately. You know what, Mr. Mustard? Truly, okay, so if this is a current, like, I don't know if you're telling me a past story or if this is what you're currently going through, I want you to go to the doctor and get your hormonal levels checked. You might have a hormone concern, and I don't want to scare you, but because like eating no sugar, no carbs, no processed food, no dairy, and did 10,000 steps every day, after a long time of that, I barely lost anything. That, it kind of doesn't add up. And when that does happen to people, and again, based on just like what I've seen, just in my community of people that I know, is that they always had some kind of hormonal imbalance. So there might be some kind of hormone that's not like turned on or it's turned off. Like there might be something, Yeah, men can get their hormones checked too. Is there a hormone check for men? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, women, I mean, testosterone is a hormone. And men have estrogen too. Women have testosterone and have estrogen. We just have different levels of it. I believe women have, men have 10 times more the testosterone than women do. And then I think it's the opposite. So again, don't quote me on that. I'm not a medical professional, but just based on my light research with that. So yeah, like if you feel like you've done everything, I find that it does come down to, it always comes down to some kind of hormonal switch. Currently, it's been years. I did the panel severe insulin resistance. I knew it. I was going to say thyroid. I was going to say that. I should have said it before you commented. It was like it was right here, but I was like, I don't want to project anything because I'm not a medical professional. So I don't want to like suggest something, but yeah, I knew it had to do something with hormone, insulin resistance. So I'm assuming then you might be on some kind of medication, like an insulin, so you can become insulin sensitive again, and lowish on the thyroid. Yeah. So are you on thyroid medication? Because that might be what it is. And then once you kind of get that back on track, then you'll like start to lose the weight. And then even get with a specialist. Again, I don't know your age. I don't know your height, but like this is my opinion. You can massively change your life in 6 months. Like you could be an entire new human, but it just takes us to take like the extra steps to do it. So I would research a specialist to help you lose weight despite you having the insulin resistance and the thyroid concern. Because those specialists are out there, and then they can get you on a program. Even if you can't like necessarily afford it, I know that there's some kind of affordable package that you could they could put you on, or you can find out, but just do the work, because it's worth it. You'll feel so much better in 6 months. It's worth 6 months of your life to go hard at like a regimen specifically for your bio individuality, right? No, I'm not Guyanese, and I'm not Trinidadian. I do get that a lot. I do get like West Indian a lot. I get West Indian a lot, and I also get Ethiopian a lot. And I see why. There's other ways to lower your insulin other than meds. Yeah. So what you want to do is, if you have to take the medication, be so on point with your diet that the diet is so on point that you don't have to take the medication anymore. Tried thyroid meds and neither worked. Okay. So you might want to get with an herbalist or like a naturopathic doctor to help you regulate and get your body back in balance. Because that's kind of what it sounds like it is. And then you might be like, sometimes, you know, when you say you cut out carbs, like we should not be cutting out sweet potato. We shouldn't be cutting out quinoa. We shouldn't be cutting out, you could even add in like black rice or like brown, like a really high grade brown rice. Like we shouldn't be so nervous and scared of carbs. Now with white bread, you know, all kinds of pastries, donuts, you know, bagels like that are just like not like a brown, like a, what is it? Brown bread or pumpernickel bread is okay, right? Pumpernickel bread is like, if you have to have bread, like that's a better choice. Pumpernickel bread is actually really, really good. So yeah, I would really get with, you know, I really want to learn more about hormones and all the intricate details because it's so complex, right? So you might, you need to just get more tests done to see, like, you could be cutting back on something that you really need, you know? Also fruit, like how's your fruit intake? How's your vegetable intake? How's your legumes? Are you eating, you know, what kind of meats are you eating? Are you eating fried chicken or are you eating lean meat? You know, so just like really be honest with yourself. Maybe cook carbs differently. Cooked veggies are way more glycemic than raw salad. Hey Holly, what up? I use 100% wheat bread, lots of meat and mass gainer, very little sugar. Okay. Okay, that's good. It's so bright. I can't even like see the chat like now where the sun is starting to go. So yeah, I think if you are having that concern, please get with a specialist, and it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. But you can lose the weight. It's just a matter of turning something like a hormone on and turning a hormone off. Sometimes like our ghrelin and our I think it's called leucine or leucine can be off. Like there's just so many different, there's like the perfect balance and formula for hormones per person. Why gluten is so delicious. You know, we actually live in a time now where everything's like gluten-free now. So oh yeah, ginger is bomb. Are you a nutritionist? I'm neither. I'm just a woman that loves, and I'm obsessed with nutrition, and I'm obsessed with training. So I am a certified life coach. But yeah, so I always make sure I have a disclaimer on my page. I always say a disclaimer at some point in my videos that I'm not a medical professional. If anything, this is to encourage you to go seek out actual medical advice, because I think it's something where we're like, oh yeah, we need to do it, we push it out in the future. But no, if you're having like thyroid issues, if you're doing everything, you genuinely feel like for 6 months you've tried everything, you got to go in and at that point there's something that's kind of like you might be allergic to something, you know, like, so you do need to get with a medical professional. Like I didn't even know. So I was, you know, if you've ever sat down on a couch and then you get up real quick and then you're like, it goes dark, like it goes black. That was happening to me a lot. And I was like, okay, well maybe because I just was getting up too fast. So I started to like try to get up slower. But then I noticed it was happening even if I would get up normally. I would just like stand up, like just get up. And I was like, it would just go dark. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like I would feel like I almost like had to pass out. So God is always working, because I told this to my grandmother's hospice nurse. I was like, yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Like every time I go to get up, I just like feel like I'm gonna, like, I get not dizzy, but like it would just go dark. And so he's like, oh, you don't have enough salt in your system. And I was like, now that you say it, I really do. Like, when do I have a lot of salt? Because I don't have, you know, I'm a vegan, and especially during that time, I would just only eat like raw salads, like just with like olive oil. Like I was like too far on the spectrum of healthy. Like it was like not healthy. And then he goes, yeah, you need to incorporate sea salt. I incorporated sea salt. I've never had that issue again. Let's see. Oh yeah, Hallie says, it was happening to me, and a guy at health food store told me the sign of POTS syndrome and advised me to get salt. That's why. So okay, there we go. So yeah, it worked. I got Celtic salt, same exact thing that I did. And I started putting that on, you know, not everything. You don't want to overdo it. I started putting that on a lot of stuff, and I've never had that happen again. But it's like, I wouldn't have known that. You know, I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm getting older, like maybe, or I just need to slow down, like when I sit up, like, you know, but I didn't know that I was lacking a nutrient. So sometimes we could be cutting back on things like, you know, okay, well, I'm going to be like no carbs. Okay. So you don't have any sweet potato, you don't have any quinoa, you don't have any, like, you know, some of like the healthier carbs. And then it's like the exact nutrient that you need is in that carb, you know? So just be careful on like drastically doing things. I literally went through a phase where I was like, I'm doing no sugar, no salt, because I had heard and I saw it on my body that if I was having salt, then it would cause you to get inflamed. Like your body would hold on to a lot of water, which was true. So I cut down on the salt, and I noticed that my body wouldn't hold on to a lot of water. So I'm like, okay, cool. but I went too far. I would like cut out salt and everything. Like I'd get salt free, or it would say like low sodium or something. Like it would always be like very low. And then I went too far the other way. So it's like almost like we all have to find this perfect balance for us specifically, for our own bio individuality. And if something is off, don't, like, that taught me a lesson. I was like, why did I think that was normal? Like I was like, oh, whatever. Like, because I think other people had said that happened to them too. Like it was like, it's kind of normal. Like, oh yeah, when I stand up too fast, ooh, I stood up too fast. And you kind of have to wait for your eyesight to come back. And then you're like, okay, cool. Anyways, and then you move on. No. Like if it's something out of the normal, you need to get that checked. So I'm really close with that nurse now. So anytime like I haven't had any issues, but like he's like, anytime you have a question, just call me. Like we got really close, so that was cool. I have like a nurse homie now. Let's see. Because health is not one size fits all. Exactly. So now I always like right now I'm even not just drinking, I'm mixing my alkaline water that I get from this mom and pop water store, half alkaline water, half coconut water. Because I'm like, I really sat back, I'm like, I work out a lot and I really, I sweat, which is good, but I'm like, I don't think I'm really replenishing like I should. So I'm doing a lot of coconut water and I feel fantastic, especially during this time where I'm doing no caffeine. I'm feeling really, really good drinking the coconut water. Like I don't need any kind of caffeine at all. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go in the gym. I'm just going to walk for like an hour and a half and work at the same time. So I hope you guys get your 10,000 steps in today. Make it a point to move your body. It's worth it. You're going to love yourself for it. Anytime you work out, you will never feel bad after. It just doesn't, it's like not possible. Like your body produces certain hormones that are just going to make you feel good. I know it's difficult to get there. I know it's hard, full transparency this morning. Because you guys, I want to start waking up at 4 a.m. every morning, but I'm being gentle with myself because I just love that time in the morning. Like I just feel like I get 4 times the amount of work done because it's just quiet. It's serene. My brain is super fresh. Like, and I go to bed really, really early. And this morning, my body woke up at 4:17. I was like, okay, perfect. And then I just was like, you know what? I can lay back down. Laid back down, didn't get up till like 6:30. And I was like, dang it. Like I could have got so much done in that 2.5 hours before like, phone calls happen, text messages, notifications, like all of that. So that is like a really big personal goal of mine, is just to wake up every single day at 4 a.m. unless I was up the night before super late for some reason. But yeah, so this morning I could have been ahead of the game today. And waking up at 6:30 was still fine, right? I just wanted to like get a lot done. But yeah, you got to program yourself. Yeah. And I should have got up. I went to bed. I laid in the bed at 7:45 and I did that on purpose. Like I wanted to wind my body down. I did, my whole nighttime routine, my face, all that stuff, right? Brushed my teeth, all that stuff, laid in the bed at 7:45. And I was like, okay, from 7:45 to 8:30, I'll just listen to a nice calm podcast. By 8:30 my body will be tired, and that's exactly what happened. So I fell asleep like around 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock. Like in between there, it's like when I probably like fell completely asleep. And because I didn't have to really be up, I like just got lazy, and I'm like, I had enough sleep. So we're all going through it. Yeah, that's true, Patrick. 4 a.m. you feel like the world is yours. I've been going to bed around 9 since taking my daughter to college on Sunday. It's nice going to bed super early. Oh, how is it? So your daughter's not living in the home anymore, right? How are you coping with that? Talking about masticating our food, please. Yes, that's how my internal clock works. Yeah, it's like I think my body woke up at 4:17 because it was ready to go. And then I just was like, no, she's an hour and a half away. Well, it's kind of cool. So now you might have like a reason to, you know, go out of town for the weekend, you know, and go do like a mom-daughter day and like go to lunch and stuff like in a new city. We were standing in the hallway crying and hugging literally for 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm going to tear up. Oh. Yeah, that's scary. Oh man. I had to drive home in this. Ooh. Oh, well, FaceTime every day. But yeah, you want your baby, like you do want to know that she's in the other room, you know? So, oh, there's so many, yeah, there's a lot of mixed emotions I can imagine with that. Cause it's like now you're like an empty nester, but you're so young still. So it's like you have like all this like space and opportunity to like tap into like anything you've ever desired. But yes, I will visit and talk text daily. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, you want to chew. It's so funny that you bring that up. You do want to chew your food. I find that if I'm eating and looking at my phone, I will eat my food and I will then look at my plate and be like, when did I eat my food? Does that happen to anybody else? Like I literally will be like just scrolling, like, you know, looking at workouts, looking at my own analytics on YouTube, looking at comments, looking at all that stuff. And then I'll look at my plate and there's like 2 bites left. So I do notice that I haven't been chewing as many times as I should. I think you have to chew like 21 times before you swallow or something. Like it needs to technically be almost at the level of like a liquid. And we just, most, I would say 90% of us don't do, like, I don't know anybody in my life that chews each bite that long. But if you aren't really paying attention to anything, then I do notice that I can like savor the food more. So I've been trying to be more aware of that, but that's a big area of opportunity for me personally. And it does really make a difference in your, because I remember I watched this, the reason why I know about the 21, I think it's like 21. I sometimes inhale my food. Yeah. Let's actually see what it is. I don't want to just be putting out random. How many times are you supposed to really chew your food? Okay. So it says the average, it's supposed to be, okay. The average is supposed to be, the average kind of food, right? You're supposed to eat it or chew it 20 to 30 times. For harder food, you're supposed to chew it 40 times. For softer food, it's 10 to 15 times. I think I'll chew hard food 10 times. You know what I mean? So, and it's literally, I will be scrolling and like, yeah. I think, so when I had saw this documentary about it, I actually tried it. This was like years ago. I actually tried to do it and it was wild. Like I actually felt like I wasn't, like, you know how you can eat and then feel like that really full feeling inflamed and your gut can kind of get like inflamed? That wasn't happening. It was like, because my mouth did the first round, when it went into my stomach, it like then had time to like really, you know, the acids and everything in the stomach had time to do what it was supposed to do. It just felt better. So yeah, that's a big area of opportunity. My friend swallows baked beans. Sorry, I don't mean to like laugh like that. I'm just imagining, like, what? Oh my gosh. I mean, you can swallow a baked bean and actually get away with it. But then if people are wondering why they have gut issues, you know what I mean? Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get it in. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Get with the reset. It's free. Get it down in the description. If you want to know how I lost 30 pounds, never gained it back, that ebook is also down in the description as well. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Bye.